Welcome back. You're watching the Weekly Brief, and in your interest, we're discussing comments made by Zoho founder on whether one should have kids early or not. In your 20s is what Sridhar Vembu said, and many Gen Zs are rightly angry. Many people in their 30s are also rightly offended and angry. As the only non-parent here among the three of you, Rakesh, let's begin with you.
Sure.
I mean, is it wise to have kids early? That's the question that many people are asking. Gen Zs are suggesting, let kids be kids. Let them have their own time. And basically, this is also an economic proposition. Should you have kids early when you don't earn yourself enough?
No, well, I think, that's the supposition which may be partly right, partly wrong. First and foremost, no prescription for Gen Z. We know the debate about the 70-hour, 80-hour, 10-hour. Let it evolve. There's a certain trajectory India's youth is taking. Let them take that trajectory with whatever accompanying good, bad, ugly results. Second part is that, people are not having kids. There's a parallel syndrome. You mentioned economic reasons. There is the other phenomenon which has come. Which is societal. No, societal is pushing for kids to come early as possible. We moved from 15 to 25 to now 35 possibly. So I'm just saying that dinks, double income, no kids. Yeah. So there is an economic flip side to it.
Right.
People are maximizing their returns on their investment. They're living life as individuals.
Right.
Even when they're a couple.
Not a bad thing.
No, I'm not saying it's good, bad. I'm just making a factual observation as a journalist. I could be wrong.
Right.
So the society has, so to say, again pivoted. It's a paradigm shift that people are earning enough money. This is double income, but they've chosen to not take a societal responsibility. If you delay it beyond a certain age
Why do you call it a responsibility? Just curious.
Is it not a responsibility?
No, there is an economic
societal responsibility.
No, societal. You can't have a marriage. This country already is having a low fertility rate.
Right.
We are not very low.
It's brinking.
So, and then that has consequences like in China and Japan. I'm taking you back to macroeconomics.
Okay.
So, in that sense, that is the societal responsibility. And also there is empirical evidence of centuries of years which says that, to bear a child for a couple. I'm not just saying for a woman because, I would be accused of, so it's an intent materialized by both. Needs to have a certain time frame. The time frame cannot be prescribed by the parents, to answer your question. It cannot be prescribed by the in-laws. It has to be decided by the couple themselves.
Right.
But, there is a health piece to it because the person who is carrying the child needs to be in a state of health that she can carry the child and be herself fit and fine.
Let's talk about fertility rate for a minute, because the fertility rate in rural India today is 1.9. In urban, it's 1.5, below the replacement rate of 2.1, which is what we need in this country. But going back to what Rakesh said there is a biological reason, and which is why one must have a kid, as in when a woman is still in her prime, and the baby and the woman are both healthy. The couple needs to decide that. But question that Gen Zs are asking is, there's no age today when you can, by which time you need to have a child. You can have a child at 39. Women are also having kids in their 37 and late 30s and are still healthy. So there are scientific options available.
You're right. I think IVF is something that we know about. Freezing of eggs is something which is fairly popular as well for those who can afford it. But I think let's look at it in multiple buckets. You're talking about first the fertility rate, right? And the fertility rate is coming down. Sure. For your replacement rate to keep you at a population of 1.4 billion, the fertility rate should be 2.1. I think we can shed off a few millions from our population and there isn't really going to be an economic cost. Of course, if it falls below, let's say, a fertility rate of 1, then over 2 generations or so, you're going to be at half your population. The second point, DINK, perfectly agreeable concept, right? Double income, no kids. I think if you as a couple have decided you don't want to have children, you want to concentrate on your career, you want to travel the world, you want to do whatever makes you happy, sure. You don't want to take that additional personal responsibility. We'll come to the societal responsibility also. No issues with that, right? I think it's your life at the end of the day. It's your body, your life, your income. You don't know what the hell is going to happen to your job. Will you have one or not have one?
You're going to be very happy when you say that. All your Gen Z viewers watching you on YouTube.
And honestly, not just Gen Z. Even for a millennial.
We take a lot of pride in ideologically attacking institutions which have served a certain purpose. That's the institution of marriage.
Sure.
Institution of having a child, whatever age.
Yeah.
But I don't think we should be swept off bun by the AI promise, which could be a bubble as we're discussing.
Absolutely.
We couldn't take that today as my view is that AI is a bubble.
Sure.
Because we have overestimated its value. because a human is estimating that without a human component being in AI.
You're right, but I think people who decide to have children will find a way to have children, and India, when they want to have children.
A country like India is not one market. There is an urban high HUNIs, double income. Then there are villages where obviously there's an economic reason, because every child you produce would say cost burden to your schooling and all that. Girl drop out partly for societal reason, partly for not being an economic priority.
That's right.
So I don't think we should, encourage an ideological attack on these two institutions.
It's not one. Let me complete what I was trying to say. I think it's okay at the end of the day if you have couples that don't want to have children. I think it is their personal choice.
I'm fine with that.
Do they need to fall prey to societal pressure or demographic duty pressure? I don't think they need to. At the end of the day, it is their life, it is their body. They don't know what is going to happen to their jobs, and they'd rather secure their future.
That was the case every time. Yeah, I mean, I think we are imagining ghosts which might not be there.
10 years ago, I don't think that concern was as prominent as it is today.
20 years ago, when our parents had kids, maybe their jobs were safe, or maybe they were not so much safe. But we are more concerned about whether we'll be able to take on that responsibility, which is a lot of women of my age thinking and feeling right now. I'm well into my 30s, but young people obviously don't even want to marry. So it's not about attacking an institution, it's about exercising a personal choice.
No, that's fair.
In which case many women want to have kids perhaps at a time when they feel financially secure. And from a woman's perspective, because we are the child bearers after all, a woman has to take a break, whether you like it or
Absolutely,
not. And that break essentially means...
I think between the couple, it's the bigger decision belongs to the woman.
Right. And it also means that we fall off the economic radar, the chart of employment, at least for good 1.5, 2 years also, that many women are not ready to take on their 20s.
But that would be the case even in the 30s, even in their 40s. Right. So I think if we are talking about Gen Z, I believe comes from a very different mindset than millennials, which I happen to belong to as a generation, and Gen X are a little more senior than that, right? So I think
it's a respectable name.
Gen X is
short of calling me that you're old.
Let's keep it at X for now, right? So Gen X millennials are also pretty much facing similar fears that Gen Z is when it comes to employment and when it comes to the longevity of their income, right? So those fears, economic fears, are real, and they're likely to stay with all the disruption that we are seeing.
The per capita income in this country, it's a poor country, has been on the rise. No, let me complete.
You're right.
But there are families. We have 4 siblings. People prior to my generation had 6 to 8. So I think all of them have grown, and many of them have grown to do very well. This fear that sab khatam ho jayega, garibi se mar jayenge, that's not right.
Sure. But I think you're talking about per capita income. I agree with you, because the economy is growing. But then there's also the Gini coefficient, which says that there is inequality in the society.
That's why I said,
if you were to divide Mukesh Ambani's wealth with 1 million people, everybody is rich. But if you were to divide my income with 1 million people, we are going to be in abject poverty.
It's not about being very rich. It's about having a lifestyle where we are better off than our parents, which is what most of us think and believe, that we've worked very hard to be where we are, and so therefore we would not want a child to perhaps either...
But the start point came from the parents who invested their lifetime
and their life. So we don't have to do what our parents did.
So respect the process that led you to be there, me to be there, him to be there.
So no, we're not saying have kids in your 20s.
We are giving no advice.
We're giving no advice here, and this continues to be a point of contention here at this table as well. But that's all we have on the Weekly Brief. Thank you very much for watching.